Hey guys, Big Red 310s here again, and yes, I am standing up because there's no real proper place to do a video. Maybe now you guys can see how tall I am when you look at the ceiling. But the ceiling's a lot higher than you think. Anyways, we're here to talk about some shows. Obviously, what some are saying is one of the best shows of our generation, which I've decided it's one of the top 5 WWE shows ever. We're going to talk about Ring of Honor show because Honor Hammer promised he'd review it with me, but he backed out. And so when I could have reviewed it in my last video where I reviewed Revolution USA, now I'm stuck reviewing it in this shitty video. Thanks! Nah, I'm kidding. Me and Honor Hammer, we're cool. It's all good. I'm also probably going to talk about a Dragon Gate show I really want to talk about, and maybe Triple Mania. We'll see if we can fit Triple Mania in there. I want to keep this thing under 20 minutes. But yeah, Money in the Bank was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I will say this: I did not order Money in the Bank or Destination X, but there's a reason I didn't order Destination X. Well, I was out of town, but even if I was in town, I still don't think I would have ordered it because I didn't think the show would be that great. Some were saying it could be show of the year. I don't want to toot my own horn or brag, but I'm usually fairly accurate at predicting how good a pay-per-view will be, but when I look at its card. When I looked at that card, I said that's going to be from a 7.5 to an 8, and every single review has come within that range. And I said, I don't want to buy a show that's not going to be great, most likely, because that main event, AJ and Daniels, I just thought, they've done that match so many times. They've done it in the Impact Zone so many times. I really didn't think it would be amazing. Now, with the original main event, AJ Joe Daniels, I thought that would have been amazing no matter what. I thought even in that Impact Zone, those three guys would have configured out a series of spots that would have, in the psychology of a match, gotten that crowd crazy, in my opinion. I thought AJ and Daniels, with a little more slower build, I haven't seen the show yet, but I'm just basing off what I've heard, I didn't think it would get the crowd that into it, and I didn't like the Joe Kazarian match at all. I thought, that match is probably going to be good, and that's it. I thought that AJ Joe Daniels match was much better. I was really upset when they changed the match, really upset, because I was going to order the pay-per-view, but then when they changed it, I'm like, I don't think the show's going to be that great. And I was right. Not just that, I knew the Ultimate X match would be exactly like the Victory Road Ultimate X match, which I did not like that much at all. Well, I haven't seen the match, so I will reserve judgment. I knew that the Doug Williams Open Challenge match wouldn't be that great. A bunch of people were saying bring in Kurt Angle and all this stuff. I'm like, no, they're probably going to bring in some guy that none of you have heard of. I've heard of him. He wrestles in drag. He used to wrestle in drag. He wrestled in Drag You on the European tour. And he did house shows for TNA. Dixie on her Twitter was saying how great he looked. I knew the guy. I haven't seen his match, but supposedly he did poorly. But why am I talking about Destination X? Whatever. I didn't order that show because I wasn't going to. And I couldn't order Money in the Bank. I had my flight. As you all know, I streamed the show. Well, in the airport, I saw the last 10-15 minutes of the Money in the Bank match. It was a terrible stream. I saw Daniel Bryan win. I marked out. I was freaking out. I was jumping up and down. I saw all the Divas match. Yay. I saw all of Henry Big Show, which I actually liked. And then I had to leave. And then I came back. I completely stayed away from the internet, which is very hard for me, as you all know. And when it was 2 in the morning, I was watching the replay. The website was having the replay. And I got to see Punk Cena. And I saw that whole match. We'll get into that. But this show was absolutely incredible. I just saw the other 3 matches that I missed just now. I'm sorry that I couldn't get this done earlier. It's been such a bitch trying to watch those matches. Such a pain in the ass. But I did it. It took a long time. It took a lot of patience. But I didn't. Alright. Let's see. What are we going to talk about? The Smackdown Money in the Bank. Now let me say this about the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I thought about this last year, and I didn't say it on camera, I don't think, but this year's verified it. I like that they're having 2 Money in the Bank matches. I really do, because it guarantees 2 great matches, pretty much. But when you have 2 in the same night, the second one is always going to seem subpar, especially since they give the first one 30 minutes. They did it last year and they did it this year. They give the first Money in the Bank match so much time, and the second Money in the Bank match usually is more dangerous. But because you saw so many cool spots in the first one, you don't think that what you're seeing is as bad the second time. Last year, I saw the Raw Money in the Bank match before the Smackdown one. And I thought, like, the Raw Money in the Bank match was awesome. And I saw SmackDown one, and I was like, that's also awesome. And I saw Raw one again, and I was like, that was not so great. Because, I think the longer of the two matches should be the second one, and I think the more dangerous should be the first one. That's just my opinion. Because, because I think people kind of it's not that they get tired of the match, just they've seen the match. You can't really wow them as easily. I think if the first one's the more dangerous one, and the second one's the longer one, while it's not as dangerous, it got so much time that it felt more important. Like this Money in the Bank, the Raw one got like half the time of the SmackDown one, or close to it. I thought that was really stupid, in my opinion. So, but yeah, the Raw one was ridiculous, but we'll get to that. As you all know, from my opinion on psychology, for my Puro fans watching this, for me, for these Money in the Bank matches, they are spot fest. There's no denying that. I've always said this about spots. When you can continue to do the spots throughout the match, and the crowd is still into it, and you are still into it, and you are still entertained by what you're seeing, and the crowd is still going crazy. They haven't killed the crowd. They haven't overdone it. They work perfectly. Now, for a match like this, I do think that overdoing it can be a bad thing. I thought last year's Raw Money in the Bank match did do that. I think the key to these matches is to tell little narratives. Several, not just one, like little narratives. Not like stories throughout the match, but little stories that focus more on the personalities than the actual match. I think Dr. Pepper Classic or someone said that, where these matches focus so much on the actual spots, they don't really focus on the personality. I thought the second one had that problem. But the first one, I thought they told a lot of good stories, like, Gabriel and Slater constantly trying to, work together, and then they both have a chance at the briefcase and start fighting again. Rhodes and Bryan, who the announcers, as awful as the commentary were, kept putting over, how that's, these guys hate each other, this is a feud, they don't like doing this, but they have to work together. Sheamus, who had several spurts where he would just be dominant and would just kick everyone's ass, like he would either lay everyone out with a ladder like he did early in the match, or lay everyone out with a brogue kick, just going crazy, being a monster. And then I thought to myself, how are they going to take out this monster? Like, Kane was the exact same role last year, except Kane won the match. I was like, how are you going to take out Sheamus? And Kane gave him a horrible-looking chokeslam. I mean, it looked good, but, God, that looked like such a bad bump to take. Oh, chokeslam right on the ladder, and Sheamus was gone the rest of the match. It was believable. You were like, you know what? They took out the monster. They took out Slater, which that's the only thing I didn't like. I didn't like the way they took out Slater, but generally speaking, I thought the match and Rhodes and Daniel Bryan and Barrett, they did these little, and Sin Cara doing all these high spots, and you figure, he's got to win. He's going crazy on everyone, and then Sheamus just power bombs him through a ladder. I like stuff like that. Those little character narratives that they tell throughout these Money in the Bank matches, and this one was excellent at that, and Daniel Bryan won. My favorite wrestler in wrestling today. I've thought about this, possibly one of my few favorite wrestlers of all time, the more I think about it. I love this man. I think this man, he's just perfect for every wrestling company in the world, in my opinion. I think he can get a crowd. I think he gets a crowd better than anybody else. Anybody. I said that. Anybody in wrestling today. He can get a crowd to care like no one else can, which is why every single one of his TV matches are good. Alright? But, he won. I was so happy. I was jumping up and down and screaming in the airport, and I had some people giving me some dirty looks. But I was going crazy. I was so happy. Now, I was pretty sure that he was going to cash out on CM Punk and lose, but that didn't happen, so I was even happier. Kelly versus Brie Bella, that sucked. Seriously, Instant Classic Game made a good point a while back when people were going crazy about Jerry Lawler versus The Miz. He doesn't put himself through these WWE Divas matches. Why do you? They will not in any way affect or positively or negatively affect your pay-per-view overall rating score. That's what I'm saying. It will never affect it. So if it's always so horrible, why do you constantly put yourself through it? That's just what I'm thinking. It's not, it's going to be shitty. Just don't watch it. Now, I was in an airport. I kind of had nothing else to do, so I did watch it. But, yeah, show had me. I like this. I know a lot of people have been really crapping on this. Did you really want to see this match go 20 minutes? Did you really want to see this match go 20 minutes? I thought it went the perfect time. They're trying to get Henry over. They need new heels on SmackDown. Right now, I think Christian, and then the number 2 heel, I think, is Cody Rhodes or Sheamus. Come on, they need new heels. And I've always liked Mark Henry. I've said this before. I'm a Mark Henry fan. I do not hate the guy. I do not think he's that bad in the ring. I think he's fine for what he does. I really do. I like seeing him just destroy people. Like these vignettes they've been airing and these segments of him just killing people. It works. He's a monster, a believable monster. I like it. And I like what he did with Big Show here. You know, they fought for 7 minutes, Henry just destroyed him. Henry looks like the dominant badass in the end, and that's how it should be. We shouldn't have this even Steven booking. Henry is the badass. Show is not. Fine. And by the Smackdown spoilers, it's even better. So I like this. I'm giving it 2.25, and that's a positive 2.25. I enjoyed this match. Next we got the Raw Money in the Bank. As I said, this was really freaking dangerous. Like, good lord, I'm not the type of guy, because I love Bryan and Vinny. I love the Bryan and Vinny show. It's one of my favorite, it is my favorite podcast to listen to. But I feel sometimes they kind of go a little off the deep end on how dangerous stuff is. Like, I've been listening to their TNA reviews. Like, I remember there was the Kurt Angle-Kazarian match, how they were, from Summerversary last year, how they were saying some of the spots were really scary. I was like, it wasn't that bad. I'm not the type of guy that likes to completely freak out about the danger of a match because I know these wrestlers are trained. I know that, they can handle it for the most part. But this match, I was freaking out. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I knew everybody was fine, but I just felt so terrible. Whether it be Mrs. Spot, which was a work, I believe, but it still looked terrible. Freaking, I think it was Alex Rowdy threw Rey Mysterio under the ring rope right on top of a ladder. Del Rio was trying to chase after Kingston. Kingston ducked. He goes through the ropes into the announce table. Jack Swagger, oh my god. No one's talking about this. Right before Del Rio and Rey Mysterio had their little encounter, Kofi Kingston and Jack Swagger. This was after everyone was on top of ladders. Kofi Kingston and Jack Swagger were on the ladders, and the ladder was tipping over, and Swagger looked like he was tipping over, but then he just, here's the ladder, here's Swagger, he looks like he's just tipping over, and then just bam, falls on his back. It looked horrible, no give. I felt terrible. I felt horrible. I was like, oh my god, that guy is hurt. But the match was great. These guys, exactly what I said. You do the spots, the crowd is still going crazy for them, which shows, because especially in the WWE, like I've heard people make the argument, well, some promotions are not trained to get the crowd into it. In this fucking promotion, that is the goal. Alright? And they accomplished that threefold. So I've seen some people actually give this match 2 stars. I don't like to criticize other people's star ratings, but if you see what these guys did, what they're trained to do, and all the risks they took, and you say, average performance? Come on! What are you talking about? So what if it was a spot fest? Who cares? They were going crazy for it. Crazy! Crazier than most well-worked Ring of Honor matches. Now granted, this was a smart crowd, but still, I thought this was great. I thought these guys put their body in line. It was dangerous. Not that I love it for it to be dangerous. Their first one was much safer, and in my opinion, that was a better match. But this was still great. I just thought it was a little too short, and like I said, a little more short narratives. I mean, kind of with the Miz, but not really. Everybody else in this match, to me, just kind of felt like a bunch of guys. I mean, at least in the first one, I kind of saw a little bit of personality and storylines. Not really in this match, but still a great match. Randy Orton versus Christian. I like this feud. I don't love it. I like it. I did not like the capital punishment finish. I thought, you can't just have Christian lose again. I thought they should have either given him the title or ended the feud. I just thought, Christian really looked bad to get 3 straight rematches in a row, even if some of them were justified. The rematch clause, and the referee mistake. I really didn't like it. But they continued the feud. I said, whatever. They'll probably have a really good match. This match reminded me of a lot of New Japan Best of the Super Juniors matches, where the matches are kind of short, but they pack a lot in there. And that's what this match was. I've seen people complain about the time. This is a little rant I also have on time. Would you have wanted this match to go 17 minutes, where basically that segment where Christian was working over Orton, he does it for 3 more minutes? There's more moves, and the moves that he would do later in the exchange with Orton wouldn't mean as much. Well, how does that affect the match? I've seen people say this all the time. That match only went 10 minutes. It can't be 4 stars. So would you rather have gone 15, and all it did was the guy worked over the guy more, and the crowd cared a little bit less? Really? It can't be great? I really hate that logic. I think it's fucked up logic. Who gives a shit what the time is? Hell, fucking... what's the word? When I first saw it, now if I probably see it, I'd probably say it was horrible. But when I first saw Buell McGillicuddy versus Bill Alfonso when I was 9, I was going insane. That was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. That match is 4 minutes long. Come on, why does time determine quality? It shouldn't. stupid, in my opinion. I loved this match. I thought the exchange was great. Everything was great. In my opinion, it's the second best match these guys have had. And I actually like the finish. I know most people don't, but in my opinion, it made Christian come off as the smarter wrestler. I mean, maybe the slyer wrestler is probably a better word. I think he knew what he was doing. It's not like Orton. See, to me, what I was afraid would happen was they would do what they did. Orton teases the RKO. He hits the RKO, but he hates Christian so much he hits another one and another one or something. And he just keeps pounding him and pounding him. The ref calls for the bell. That to me would have made Christian look horrible. And this one, Christian was like, you know what? He might about to be hit his finisher. I'm going to try to piss him off the edge on the DQ so I can get my title and run away. And that's what happened. I like the finish. I hated the aftermath. I hated Orton pounding on him through the announce table. I know some people have praised it. I really didn't like it. To me, it made Christian look like a chump. I didn't like it. More of a chump than he already didn't need to look like. I really didn't like it, actually. Like, I really hated it. I'm not going to lie. I didn't see the point in it. I don't know why everyone's praising it. Yeah, Orton sold it well. And yeah, Bryan always made a good point. These babyface beatdowns after a match are never really any good. Either the babyface looks like a sore loser, or he looks like a heel. I mean, they never really look good. And this one, because of Orton's character, it made Orton look good. Great job, you put over Randy Orton. Come on. And me and Shamrock were talking about this. Supposedly, Vince McMahon exploded when Randy Orton didn't break the announce table, and he told him to go and do it again. And we were saying, like, it almost never breaks when he does the RKO on the table. Like, almost and never does he hit the RKO on the table and the thing breaks. It's very rare. Like, really, why would Vince freak out so much, in my opinion? In my opinion, if Orton got told to break the table, he probably shouldn't have done an RKO. He probably should have done, like, another move. Maybe it wouldn't have been as impactful as an RKO, but, you know, you broke the table. You would have gotten a louder pop. That's just my opinion. And the main event... What can I say? The match of the year. I'm sorry. And I was live for Davey Eddie. And it's really hard for me to say that. But yeah, it was the match of the year. I was just going crazy during this match. The psychology was absolutely incredible. The wrestling was absolutely incredible. The selling was absolutely incredible. And then I'm going to get a little rant on botches. I did this on my Twitter. I hate it when people downgrade matches because of botches. I hate it. Because you will not... Here's a few reasons. You will not give a match bonus points for not having botches. Alright? You will not say, oh, that match was 20 minutes and they didn't botch anything. I'm going to give it an extra quarter star. No. Never do I ever see that on YouTube. Ever. But if a match had like 2 botches, you know what? I'm going to subtract a quarter star. That to me makes no sense. In my opinion, you should only detract the match because of botches if it really did, like, really affected the match or the outcome. Like, the best example is Davey Daniels from Manhattan Mayhem 4. That botch killed the match. Like, not just hurt it, it killed it. The crowd went silent. That match, you know what? I can totally understand. You know, that really hurt the match. Or in a case like Shelton and Charlie versus Cabana and Generico from Richmond. This was just from what I heard. Where literally Shelton botched like the last 10 moves. That consistency of botching also really hurts a match. And also, I guess when the botch is just really bad and noticeable on a really important move. Like if Cena, like a lot of people criticize Taker Michaels won because of that botched DDT, which is something I think is ridiculous. But the way that match was structured, where it was big move, lie down, big move, lie down, botching that big move is a big deal. Like what? I mean, it wasn't the same spot, but what if Triple H botched that tombstone to The Undertaker? That would have been a big deal. It wasn't the finish, but it still would have really hurt the match. So, but like for little stuff like what happened in this match where Punk accidentally like landed more towards Cena's knees than his body, where Cena was coming up to top rope and Punk wasn't far back enough to properly deliver the powerbomb, that does not affect the match at all. And I like True Slayer's point, or someone who said this, where the botch just kind of added to the match, where it was like, I'm so focused on getting this guy down, execution is not one of my top priorities. My top priority is to do the move immediately. So if I'm a little sloppy, who cares? I like that. I did think it kind of added to the match, especially how long the match went. 5 stars, match of the year. You know, when CM Punk and John Cena were both saying on Twitter how this match was going to be match of the year, I was like, sure. Like everyone says that. But they delivered, believe it or not. This match was amazing. I'm actually considering whether or not this match is better than the Taker Michael matches. I'm not kidding. In the end, I don't think it is, just because you know, both the age of Michaels and Taker and the setting with WrestleMania, and what was the main event? One Shawn retired. Actually, that was both one match. But like, still, because of that, like, I can't do it. I'm sorry, but I still thought this was one of the top 5 matches in the past God, maybe 20 years from WWE. I mean, really, both Taker Michaels matches, Bret Austin, not the WrestleMania 12 match. Maybe the first Elimination Chamber. That's just me being biased, I guess. But really, I thought this match was that good. So, 5-star classic. I would go into more to detail why I thought it was 5 stars, but really, I do not want to go that long. And if I did that, I would do like 20 minutes. Many people have reviewed this show. Many people have said, why that match is so amazing. Just go watch them. I pretty much agree with everyone. All right. That was Money in the Bank. That's a 9.5 out of 10. That's an awesome show. It's not just that there were almost pretty much 4 great matches, but one of those great matches I didn't like the aftermath, but also because, in my opinion, the 3 best wrestlers in WWE are Daniel Bryan, Christian, and CM Punk, in that order. I love CM Punk, but I think in the WWE style, Christian wrestles a bit better. If you put both those guys in Ring of Honor, I'd say Punk would have the better match. You put both those guys in New Japan, Punk would have the better match. But I think in the WWE style, I don't think Punk could have had as good of a match as Ezekiel Jackson that Christian had last year. Look at Punk's matches with Orton, one of which was at WrestleMania, which usually guarantees some sort of a curve. And look at Christian's matches with Orton. Don't give me time. The Christian Orton match that I just saw had almost just as much time, in fact, maybe a little less than that Punk-Orton match from WrestleMania. So really, I just think, just in my opinion, in the WWE style, I think Christian works better. But like I said, as a wrestler, Punk is obviously better. But in the WWE, Danielson, Christian, Punk. And 2 of those guys are the world champions, and the other guy won the Money in the Bank. Life is good. And they also happen to be, Daniel Bryan's my favorite wrestler. My second favorite wrestler is The Undertaker. My third favorite wrestler is probably Christian. Then, I don't know. I really like Evan Bourne. I really like Mysterio. I really like Ziggler. Maybe Punk's there. I don't know. I'm not as big as Punk fan as most people are, but I still love the guy. I mean, if that makes any sense. 9.5 out of 10. Go order that replay. Okay, I guess I don't have to talk about Triple Mania. I don't want to go too long. ROH Revolution Canada. This was... Sorry, I'm just scrolling on my computer. This was a great show. Awesome show. It kind of reminded me of a really good Chikara show where it has a great match, even though, this match was incredible. But it also has a lot of really good matches. Most are like Chikara Young Lions Cup 8, Night 2. That has an awesome main event, and then it just has a bunch of 3.5, 3.25 star matches. That's what this show was to me. Just an awesome main event, but this was legit awesome. And a bunch of 3.5, 3.75 star matches. But in my opinion, there were some problems with the show. I'll get into that, why the rating isn't even higher. So I give this 8.25. I'll tell you why it's not 8.5. Claudio O'Reilly was really, really good. I like this opener more than most people. The Claudio O'Reilly match and the Double Danger Scramble match, I gave an extra 1/4 star because of how they made the newcomer look. I don't want to call O'Reilly and Elgin newcomers, but those guys look like monsters. That's what people always say about Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor, they lose so much talent, but they know how to get the ball rolling, put over more guys, because they know that's what they have to do. They know how to do it very well, how to consistently get guys rolling through, and therefore they know what they're doing because of that. And I thought they made O'Reilly and Elgin both look like $1 million. So the opener was really fun. Corino and Bennett I liked. I know most people didn't, but I don't really hate this feud. Double Danger Scramble was the second best match on the show, and tons of fun. Tons of fun. But that match was so incredibly a large amount of fun. Davey Kenny King, I was actually really, really, really liking this match, but this was another case where this is a match where, a match should be rated lower because of the botch, because that botch did hurt it. In my opinion, it would have been as bad if Davey had, celebrated in the ring and played to the crowd after the match, but he didn't. After the match was over, he immediately just walked straight to the back, which made you, the viewer, realize, wow, that botch really killed the match and killed Davey's attitude. And because of that, it left you with a bad taste in your mouth. But still, a very good match. Bravado Brothers Corino confrontation, I liked it, but I thought it went way too long. It was like 10 minutes. Bravado Brothers kept repeating stuff, and I love the Bravado Brothers, but still a little too long. Cabana Delirious, I've decided that this is the funniest match in Ring of Honor history. Yes, funnier than Cabana Delirious from the 5th Year Festival finale. Funnier than the 4-way from the Final Showdown. Funnier than Curry Man versus Jay Lethal from... is that This Means War? I think This Means War. I have decided that this is the funniest match in Ring of Honor history. Go watch it. I'm not talking about it. I don't want to ruin it. For Daniels, El Generico, another really fun match. I just thought, it came off a little bland in the middle. But still really enjoyable by the end. Got to be a lot of fun. Alright, this is the reason why this show is not rated a lot higher. World's Greatest Tag Team versus the Briscoes. I really didn't like this match. I gave it 3 stars because, I guess it was a good match, but I thought this should have been way better. I was very disappointed by this. I didn't click with me. I thought it wasn't properly structured. I didn't think it was given enough time. I didn't think the World's Greatest Tag Team looked that good. I like the World's Greatest Tag Team, but I've been saying this for a long time. I think that once people start seeing them as tag champs, I think a lot of people are going to start to turn on them because they're really good wrestlers, but their style is just different from the Ring of Honor style. And while it connected great with the Kings of Wrestling, it hasn't really connected as good with anyone else, not even with the American Wolves, in my opinion. And I just think a lot of people are just getting really upset with their performances. And according to their performance in Charlotte, they actually got booed, or Richmond, they were actually getting booed out of the building. So I like these guys. I think they're both really good, but I think the fans are going to start turning on them more, sooner than later. But I like them, I do, but their performances have been disappointing, though, I won't lie. So yeah, that match really, because it was a semi-main event, and it just should have been so much better. It really put a damper on the show for me. And Eddie Owens, Chris Hero, this was absolutely incredible. This is my number 5 match of the year. I just thought Eddie sold his arm so well throughout the match. He made sure to use maneuvers that would not require his arm. And whenever he did, he was immediately fatigued afterwards. And after the match was over, both guys were lying on the ground, selling that just both had taken a beating. I loved the interference by Claudio because Ring of Honor never ever does it. They never ever do it. So Claudio comes in, he interferes in the match, and then Eddie is looking after he gets a collar bomb and he kicks out. He's like, Davey takes out Claudio, and Eddie's just outside going, Davey, what are you doing? And Chris Hero comes from around him and gives him a schoolboy. And the crowd actually thought Hero could have won the match, because it would have made sense. They were building a storyline where Eddie wanted Davey to get out of his business, and Eddie was taking out Claudio, and Davey was taking out Claudio. Eddie was distracted, and Hero went for the quick roll-up, and a lot of people in the building actually legitimately thought that could have been the finish, even though, this was Eddie's first title defense. You knew this, second title defense. You knew this wasn't going to be the finish. But still, that's how wrestling can be great, when you trick the fans like that. And so yeah, I thought this match was absolutely incredible. I didn't think it was a match that went too long, that was overkill. I thought it was just a great long match. They built perfectly. They ended right about at its peak. 4.5 stars. I thought this match was absolutely amazing. Go check it out. 8.25 out of 10. There wasn't another great match. I would give an 8.5, but a lot of stuff kind of did make me upset with the show. The Davey King botch. Daniels Generico had a slow part, even though the match was really good. I was really upset with the semifinals match. The confrontation segment went a little too long. But still, I'd still give it an 8.25. A recommendation from me. Great show. Alright, how are we doing on time? 28 minutes. I want standard 20 minutes. Should I talk about Triple Mania? That can wait till all sides of the wrestling world. I really want to talk about this Dragon Gate show, because no one has talked about this show. Dragon Gate, Enter the Dragon, 2011. I bought this show. I know, silly me. I didn't buy Fearless, and I didn't buy the other ones, Open the Southern Gate and all that crap. But, not yet at least. I don't think I will. We'll see. But this show I bought because I do like the Dragon Gate product, and I do like the Enter the Dragon concept. Their first show was Enter the Dragon, which was amazing, incredible. Their second show that was called Enter the Dragon was also amazing. So, I thought, Dragon Gate, they're very inconsistent. They'll have an awesome show, and then a 4-month span of either nothingness or nothing specialness, and then you'll just have another awesome show, and then people get excited, and then they go to that 4-month period where no one cares, or they deliver bad quality, and then they have another awesome show. It goes like that. I'd say from 2010, they delivered an awesome show, or a great show, in Freedom Fight, which aired in January. Then they kind of went through nothingness, and then they had an awesome show in June with Enter the Dragon, which was a 5-month span. Then they kind of went through nothingness, and then they had an awesome show at Untouchable, which I believe aired in November. And then they went through nothingness, and then they had an awesome show in Mercury Rising, and then they kind of went through nothingness, and then they had this awesome show. So yeah, this was their awesome show. I mean, it wasn't awesome, but it was pretty great. I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot better than I thought it was. It was super enjoyable too. Let's see. The opener between Mysterio and Ricochet, I thought this would go overkill, but it really wasn't. It was just a really fun, athletic match. The crowd got really into it. This crowd was really good. I like the BB King's crowd. I think they're quite entertaining, and I think they really do get into the matches a million times better than the Ace Arena. A million times better. So yeah, this was a very fun opener. Really enjoyable. Crowd was really into it. I was really into it. A lot of great action. Really enjoyed it. Aaron Fox, Pinky Sanchez. I thought it was alright. Nothing that special. I like Aaron Fox. I love Pinky Sanchez. I just thought, the first few minutes of this match was kind of bleh. The last 5 minutes were really good, though, so I gave it 2 3/4. 6-way fray. I like this concept. Actually, it wasn't a 6-way fray. I don't know why I have it written there. It was a 9-way fray. That's right, 9 guys, which I thought was a little too much, but I do like the fray concept. I do like, it's like a Royal Rumble plus Gauntlet. It's basically a Royal Rumble where every few minutes a guy comes in, and you're only eliminated by pinfall. And I like the concept. I think it works. It's different, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And in this match, they made John Davis and Tony Nese look like superstars. Okay, they had this guy Atu, who I haven't seen wrestle, but I've heard really bad things. He comes out. He's in the ring. John Davis, he had just demolished, I think, Cedric Alexander. John Davis comes out, and he, squashes this guy in a minute and looks like a total badass because Atu's a really big guy. He looks like a freak of nature. And then Tony Nese comes out, and Tony Nese is from the New York area, so the crowd likes him. And he and John Davis is a very competitive match. Then a bunch of guys come in, and eventually the final 2, it's back down to John Davis and Tony Nese. And they're also really competitive, really fierce, fighting back and forth. And I don't want to ruin who won the match, but the winner looked amazing, and the loser got kind of like a Chris Benoit Royal Rumble 2003 standing ovation, round of applause. When the winner left and he was just in the ring like this, and the crowd was clapping for him. Both guys looked like $1 million in this match. Again, people criticize Gabe. That guy knows how to build talent. Honestly, he knows how to build talent better than most people in wrestling, I'm not going to lie. He does a really damn good job, and he did it in this match. 2 guys who before I couldn't care less about in Dragon Gate, and he made me care about both of them. Susumu Yokosuka and Masaki Mochizuki versus the dirty ugly fucks. I saw most of Fearless. I don't want to review it here, though. I want to talk about this show. I'll talk about Fearless in the next All Sides of the Wrestling World. Basically, as you'll see in that review, the DUF and Yokosuka and Mochizuki had a really, really long brawl that went on forever that I hated. I hated that segment. Barack Obama Capital Punishment segment, go away, Heat. You guys know how much I hate that segment. I hated the segment almost as much. But, when they put a match between these 2 teams, I somewhat cared. Somewhat because at least I know they had previous interactions with each other. And I thought the match was really damn good. Really, really good. By far, I think Sami Callihan, maybe Eric Cannon's too, best match in Dragon Gate. By far. Really, really, really enjoyable. Just a lot of great action, a lot of back and forth. They built towards the finish. And they were just killing each other at one point, just constantly. It kind of went a little overboard. But it was still, really, really good. The main event I was very disappointed with. I mean, it was great, but Gabe was putting how it would be the match of the year, and it wasn't. I don't know, it's actually a little better. It was barely 4 stars. My top 100 matches of the year list, I put it dead last. The last 4-star match. I think I only made it 4 stars so I can justify giving the show an 8.5 out of 10. I don't know, but I thought it was very, very good. Great. Yeah, I'd say it was great, but with that much enthusiasm. It was just a basic Yamato title defense, which, granted, are better than the basic BB Hulk title defenses. Yeah. Pac didn't really go overboard. But, it's not like I wanted to. It's just, it was what it was. It was a fine, great match. And the elimination match was awesome. Go check it out. Aries made Gargano look like $1 million bucks. It was booked very well. I really liked it. 4.25 stars. I love elimination matches. 8.5 out of 10. Great show. Dragon Gate deserves your $15. It's only $15. Come on, it's a great show. It's consistent top to bottom, so enjoyable. Definitely worth the money. Revolution Canada was not as good as this show, but it was still a great show. Worth their money. Money in the Bank. Amazing. Alright, I'm Big Red 310. I'm out, guys.